welcome to Heartlines. This is our space where we discuss everything relationship and love. And I'm your host, Franca. Tonight on the show with me, I have a very special guest. His name is Ade Ajayi. How are you?
Well, thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. So how do you feel? How long have you been in Nigeria?
A couple of days now. Just you know the story. I was meant to be here last
Yes,
night,
yeah.
and I got lost.
Okay.
I thought I was a typical Lagos boy, and it's just different. I mean, this side of Lagos is completely different from when I was growing in Lagos. I mean, I went to Lagos State University. Shout out to every last white out there. And yeah, man, back then, Lakey was in the thing. I was living in Magodo with my friends, and we're chilling.
Okay.
But now it's totally different. Now everyone is on the island, so yeah.
So you got lost yesterday.
Oh my God.
For how long were you driving around?
A couple of hours, mate.
So we also have Chente. Chente Okoli is with us. Chente, how now? Chente, can you hear me? Chente can't hear me. Precious.
Oh, okay.
Can you
Hi,
hear me?
Chente.
Okay, I can hear you guys. Yeah, Chente, Precious, how una day?
I'm fine. Good evening.
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm doing good.
I can't see you guys. I can't see your face. Chente, how was your trip?
In fact, I'm entering like 20 minutes ago. I'm really exhausted, but yeah, I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah, Precious, how far? Let me see your face now. How now? How you day?
Yeah. But Harcourt has done it again. We've not had light for a week.
Oh,
I'm just tired.
Bele. You guys should just go. Maybe everybody's moving to APC now. You guys should just move to APC. So that we all have peace. So that we all have peace. You know.
As in,
Yes. So I have two of you on the show, and I have Ade Ajayi, who is not a counselor, but he has experienced a lot of things. And today we're discussing the role of compromise in relationships generally. And I like the fact that he will be giving us his own ideas, will be coming from a neutral point of view, where he will be arguing as a married man and who stays outside Nigeria, and you know the culture and everything over there, how he's been able to battle compromise, sacrifices, and you know marriage altogether. And then Chente will be giving us his view from the guy's perspective, and Precious going to give us case study. So I am thinking I know it's going to be a very interesting conversation, because clearly Ajayi is controversial, so we'll argue where we're.
okay.
Now we can wear glasses so that we'll not see eye when they argue.
You know what they say about no face, no case.
Okay, so so you don't want us to so you don't want us to have a face to the person who is speaking.
Exactly. So
Okay.
I don't get identified outside. And say, I keep some for my family still.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, that's good. Okay, so Precious, what's your take on the role of compromise in relationships?
Compromise plays a huge role in relationships because compromise is finding a middle ground. You don't want to be taken, you don't want to be misunderstood, you want the other person to feel okay. So you find a middle ground in friendship, whatever it is. To say, oh, your preferences, your needs, even though I don't really want to, but I will do this thing just to make you feel good. So it's good in a relationship, but just like every other thing, if it's taken for granted, it can turn into a bad thing.
Okay, is that it? Okay. Chente, do you agree with Precious? Chente, are you muted? Chente, we can't hear you. Okay. Chente, please unmute so that we can hear what you're saying. Okay.
Nah, don't do this to me. I was waiting for Kente to do his own.
hello.
Kente, God will bless you. Come and take your spot. They won't take
Sorry,
your
please. I didn't get the question. I think I'm having a little bit of network issues, please.
Okay, so
Your
Chente,
network, I cover your network with the blood of Jesus.
Chente, Chete, so I was saying, what's your take? Do you agree with Precious on what she said regarding concerning compromise, her definition of
Compromise.
compromise? Yes.
Yes, I agree. Although I didn't hear her completely because of my network. But
Okay.
yeah, the one thing that she said is finding a middle ground, which I
Okay.
think it's really important because both of you are two different people coming from two different places with two different values. Everything can be different. You people may not always align on everything.
Yeah.
You may not always align on everything. You have two different values. You people are from two different worlds coming to do this together, right? And so there always must be a ground for compromise. Like there must be like a middle ground. Okay, you are thinking about this, you want to go with this. Where do we meet in the middle? Because I think relationships is about compromise. It's
Okay.
about compromise. You must have to compromise. Yeah.
Okay. So you know why I asked that question? Chente, back to you. What's the difference between compromise and sacrifice?
So I think now
Chente, we just covered your network with the blood of
I
Jesus.
say that it is similar.
Bro, don't let me
Please,
share
can you
about
I
Baba
want
Boy.
to do this to me, but can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, and
Can you hear me? Oh my God. Please,
Yes,
can
we
you
can
just
hear
give me
you.
a moment? Let me see whether I
Okay,
can
that's fine.
switch.
Okay, that's fine. Precious, what's the difference?
yeah.
What's the difference between compromise and sacrifice?
Okay, so in compromise, it is again back to the definition, finding the middle ground. So
Okay.
compromise says that you and I can have a discussion, just like Chinte has said. Oh, I'm going to point A, you're going to point B. How can we come and meet at point C so that we are not, on the opposite side? That's compromise. Sacrifice, on the other hand, means one person completely giving up their options, their choices. That's you give up everything all the time. You're not meeting in the middle.
Okay.
Instead, you're the one moving from your end to the other
Okay.
person's end completely all the time.
Okay. Why I asked this question was because initially when you were speaking, before you rounded up, you said that when compromise gets too much, it becomes a problem. That's why I
Yes.
wanted us to identify. Now, based on what you said, is it possible with compromise for one person to always be the person compromising?
Yes, compromise has to have a balance. So if it's not a balance, that means one person compromises more than the other, and it's going to cause a problem, because that's when you now hear people saying statements like, but if it was me, I would have done this for you. But if it was me, remember when I did this? It's because one person the scale is not balanced.
So if
So it's 50.
if there's no balance, is it still called compromise?
Oh no, by that time it has moved to sacrifice.
That's what I wanted us to define. That's what I wanted us to be sure of. Because, because let's understand that once you mention compromise, it means two people sitting down. Do you
Yes.
understand? To say this is what we want. It's not one-sided. That means both of you have decided to say this is what we want. But if it's just one person doing it, that means one person is always sacrificing all the time, and it would lead to a breakup or a serious problem. Okay, so
Yeah.
Ade, how are you?
Doing well, thank you for asking again.
Okay, so what's your take on compromise? The role of compromise in relationship. I want you to relate it to yourself, and speak about it.
Yeah, I mean, life is about give and take.
Okay.
And at the point in time, someone is giving and someone is receiving. So you don't judge that based on, I've given this, you've given that. Everyone is giving. We stop giving when we are dead.
Okay.
You understand? So we're all making sacrifices. I know finances these days, that's one of the biggest issues in relationship. Don't shy away from it. Love not being seen. You can get love from it anyway. Yeah, a lot of other stuff. But those are the major things: finance, money, communication. Communication, that's just the peak. So you communicating to someone, they're not communicating to you. Are they giving you anything? So that's not even value. It doesn't, do you understand? That's why compromising, like, we hold at one point. The other person is probably compromising the fact that their own way of compromisation is them being quiet and not responding back to your. Do you understand what I mean? So we compromise
To your
on different,
tantrums.
the different level of compromise. It's not just, you can't quantify it. A relationship is about, because when the issues start happening, and you will say, you know what, I did this so you can be this. I wake up in the morning and I pray so we can be better. You're compromising your sleep for the prayer in the relationship. So people fast, you know. If you want to connect to God, you fast.
That's compromise as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like-
So I would ask, I know, okay, so you refer to your wife as your partner. How long have you been with your partner?
I saw a picture recently. It says 9 years. So
You said I saw a picture. You have to see it. You have to see a therapist. Pressure, did you hear what he said? I saw a picture recently.
did, though, loud and
said,
clear.
he said, I saw a picture recently and the picture said
And
9
the
years. So
said
it's 9 years.
yeah.
yeah, exactly. So
So you don't remember. It's
I
the
was
picture that
shocked.
reminded
You know
you.
what? I was shocked. Like, I've been in a relationship for 9 years. Bro, I've never been in a relationship that long before in my life. Eh?
It's too
Where I
long.
be Snapchat. You know how Snapchat is very quick. I get no time.
Okay.
Because, you know,
So how has it been for you?
you know, I had to. You see, this compromise, I don't want to use that word because it's overrated to me. There are a lot of things.
How has your relationship been in the last 9 years?
It's been my life.
Okay.
My life in my own face is what you make out of life.
Okay.
That's it. So that's why I value my relationship. It's been nice. So it's what it's been good.
Okay.
So that's how I want it to be. There have been things that have happened. Things have gone left, we've gone right, it's gone right, left and center. But you know what? I still thank God. I can hold on to a relationship for 9 years. That's why I'm surprised. Like me get that long. Do you understand what I mean? That means that woman must have been compromising a lot for me, man. Because I know I'm
I wanted you to say that.
nah.
So in the last 9 years, you know you have been shit.
No, I'm not. I know I'm not.
That's
I'm
what
not,
you just said.
Nah. When I say I didn't even say shit.
That's what you
Where
said.
did you get? I know
you said it. You're that shh. You know.
Nah. You
And
didn't let me finish. No,
okay.
you're assuming things.
Okay. Okay. So you know you're shh, right?
My children will say, Daddy, you said the S word. You
Okay.
said the B word.
Okay.
So
So
my own.
shh, bishi. Okay.
You know, I don't know how to lie. I'm lying. But I'm not a shit.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
But what I mean is, in terms of relationship, I don't have that time. I'm shit at it. My friends, like, some of them used to look at me like, despite the fact that they could see me as a guy that looks after women in general, irrespective of the fact that they're my girlfriend or not. But I couldn't hold a relationship. I just see women in general like they're meant to be cared for. Do you understand? So
how was it for you initially in your marriage?
it was at the point whereby I saw myself like I needed to have my own woman.
Okay.
Because I see my friends that are not even looking for a boy like me. They don't look after their women. They got girls. They got bare girlfriends. They got like 1, 2, 3. They change them like shit.
And
You
they
know
were,
what?
and they are
Wait till-
married.
Yeah?
And they are married.
No, at that time we're still single.
Okay.
Yeah, so some of those, and they started getting married. Even the shit ones that shitter than me, they're getting married. I'm like, why?
So you took it up and said,
Yeah, and I went the way of the Lord. Like, God, I want a woman. I started praying, and what I prayed for in a woman is what God has given me. That's why every time I look back, I always thank God. Like, this is what I want.
Okay.
So, and everything in life takes sacrifice.
Okay, so but the fact that you have never been in a relationship for 9 years and now you have a wife, has it been smooth? As in, would you say none of you, your compromise is not eating you up? You're not uncomfortable? You're not, I want to be very careful with my words. You're not uncomfortable or pushed to the urge where you need to take certain decisions?
Yeah, I mean, there's times that you compromise to a level where people start taking the piece.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when you it wakes up something inside of you, and you just have to analyze it. And we all have different ways of identifying things. Some people go ballistic,
Okay.
and some of them go into prayer.
Okay.
Some people go quiet mode. But me, I think I went through all those phases, even the depression mode. You know, the part that I saw myself like belittled. I went to suppression, oppression, depression, whatever shone. You understand? And it all led to my transformation, and that's where I am right now. So no one can bring me down. And that's why when I speak now, I was going to show you a post on my it was in English. He said, you know what, this guy, when you meet him, you get intimidated because his energy is just off the roof. But when you get to meet him, you just realize that it's not intimidating. It's just that he's been through a lot. And I don't have too much been in a lot. It's just life lessons. And in marriage, I've learned a lot. That it takes a lot of sacrifice and commitment. That's what it is. It's commitment.
Compromise. Okay, so what you're trying to say is because in your head, you just know that, you know what, I need to compromise. So it's not a big deal for you.
No.
Or is it because you know you're shitty? That's why.
Oh, listen, I don't like that word.
Okay.
This straight.
Okay.
What do you mean shitty, babe?
But that's what you've been saying.
Oh, shitty. But you need to specify.
No, but you didn't specify.
But you didn't let me land.
But you just finished.
Don't say that again. We're gonna have. I'll break this mic. Oh,
No, but seriously.
oh, listen.
Okay, so is it because of the way you feel you are? That's why you think because of your personality you need to compromise and make sacrifices?
Yes, that's part of it.
Okay.
Because we are not all perfect.
Okay. I'm speaking about you, not generally.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's very good when you get told off.
Okay.
See, two people that are most difficult to change, and you see, change is constant, to talk to. Let me just put it that way. In this life, people would think they know too much, and we all do that. We think we know everything. And secondly, the second people is people who have money.
Okay. Let's hold your thought on that. Chente, can you hear me? Chente, can you hear me? I think there's something wrong with your network, Chente.
Yeah.
Yeah. Precious, so from what you've heard Ade say, what's your take?
On sacrificing, compromising
No, so
relationship.
his attitude and his mindset towards compromise and sacrifice.
Okay, so he has agreed that compromise is a good thing. He has also agreed that he has had to do some form of compromise as well as his partner. And that is why 9 years went by so quickly without him even realizing it. Life can throw challenges at you, but it is how, like for him who has a partner, how as a couple, you can come together and say, look, I might not even like what's going on. You might actually like it, but can we find a way that we don't allow it affect our union, affect our peace, affect our growth? So I like his outlook, saying that compromise is not something that is done by one person, or it's not something that you did yesterday and you don't do today.
No, but he
So
hasn't
that's
said. But he hasn't said that. He's just talking about his own compromise. He hasn't mentioned that both of them have done anything. I listened very well.
You know what?
He
hold
said
on. What's her name again?
Precious.
Precious. That's the name of my last daughter.
Okay.
Yeah, but let me answer that question quickly. My partner has compromised. When I said so she's been compromising with me for 9 years. I didn't say I've been compromising for her. Do you understand? Do you get that point? That means a woman could put up with me. My missus says this, like, if you can put up with my rubbish, that means she's been able to put up with my rubbish as well. We got rubbish. Or everybody's got rubbish. Do you understand? So that's what I mean by... So she's compromised for me in a lot of ways. Look, I'm this guy that comes to the house and just drop his shit there. She'll pick it up. She'll pick it up to the point whereby she now has where she put it for me. She had to compromise her sanity. Like, I've told you times without numbers. So we all do that. And there's certain things as well that she does that I just like. But I think I give respect to women, man. You women are different. Women are mothers. So if you're happy, if you're lucky to find a woman, you find your own mother. Yeah, but the biggest challenge is compromising. The Bible. What does the Bible say about a man leaving his woman, leaving his father's house? She needs to compromise and leave her family and focus on our family. That's part of compromising. And that's the biggest part a lot of people have. Like, they don't let go of. I do the same thing as well. I'm still attached to my mom and my dad. You understand? But you need to set the boundaries. You understand what I mean? So, we're talking earlier when we talked about a family relationship. Please, I don't want to, like, always in my space. I don't have any problem with it. But if you would have been on my side, would I have been entertained? Do you understand what I mean?
Okay, so yeah, so let me
Nah, you ain't going in details.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
that's a private conversation.
Okay,
but,
that's fine. Okay.
But for clarity, it's just the fact that she probably has a friend, maybe our best friend comes to the house, and me, I don't talk to the best friend, and our best friend still comes to the house. So let's leave that. Let's leave it that way. You get what I mean? So. And she's telling me, I've known my friend from childhood. I can't do anything about it. This is my friend. I knew her before you. And,
Same way she can ask you to leave your friends that you've known for long.
Who is friend? Where I've got my wife?
Okay, so now...
Why would my friend, if my wife doesn't feel comfortable with my friends, why would my friend come to my house?
So that means you're
If my friend is not greeting my missus, if my mom is not greeting my missus, then there's a problem. Then they have to stay part ways. Look, if it's my mom, like, he's married to you, not me. If that means she has to compromise, she has to choose.
Okay, so I like the fact that you have stated this. So you're saying if the reverse was the case, your friend wouldn't come to the house because you respect your wife. Your wife is more important to you than
Why is
your
my friend in my house in the first place? This is my family house. I can't go to their flipping house. Why is my mom in my house?
Okay.
So my daddy's got brothers as well. Were they in my house? Were they in our house? There was a limit to something. Was my grandmom living with us?
Okay.
Was that the kind of life we wanted?
Okay, but did you guys... So, I don't want to make it about you, but was there a conversation to say that we would not have third parties in our home?
Look, when you start getting third party into... I know situations, things happen. I've seen people do it, but I don't know how they do it. Because even if they're still outside, they're still quick in a lot of trouble. Not to now talk about when they live in the same premises with you. That's not marriage anymore. Marriage is a man, a woman, and the children.
Okay.
When that grandpa is there. So bear man out there, man. Just find a place, leave your in-laws house.
Okay.
If you live in your in-laws house, I swear, you need quick notice.
Okay, but my question is, she might not know you have a problem with it. It's possible. Because you guys have never had that conversation.
Don't let me start getting aggressive now.
Okay.
What do you mean?
No, you don't get my point.
You think some people don't know, like, you're not okay with
just
it?
Something you said. You said, when I said something, you said, I'm assuming when you wanted to say something. So naturally, people assume. So why don't you think you're assuming that they know? Some people actually do not know. Like, let me tell you the truth. Some other people don't have problems with having third parties in their home.
No.
But you have a problem if you have an issue.
It's not about having a third party this time.
Okay.
No, I'm saying this person doesn't respect my presence. This person has disrespect me. English is hard. Sorry.
Okay. So you can speak Yoruba, that's fine.
This person has disrespected you in so many ways that, you reconcile. And I have tried to reconcile as well. And you, as a person, don't even speak about it. Like, you know what? I know you've taken this bold step. You understand what I mean? So, oi, would you like get caught? Nah, fuck that. Sorry. Now, listen. The bad thing is, like, they're beyond acceptability. They've done that for you. And you still swallow your pride. Because they wouldn't take that bollocks. And still that person will look in your eyes and still come into your space. And your partner knows about it. And they still feel like it's all right. then you have to compromise, innit? Like my partner, what can I do? So we all compromise one way or the other.
But
And the truth there is, I don't have any issue with the person, to be honest.
okay,
Whatever they've done,
basically what you're saying, I like to understand. I want us to understand what you're saying. So basically what you're saying, there's somebody in your space, and this person doesn't give you the respect you expect, and you have addressed it. You have even, said, oh, you have even come up to apologize to address it, and yet the person ignores all your efforts.
It's not about, I don't need respect. I just wanted to, like, let the bygone be bygone.
That's
you know
fine.
what I mean?
That's fine. But you have tried, and yet that person doesn't acknowledge that you have done something. And then your partner also knows you have tried, but she also doesn't think that you have done something. And they are ignoring all your efforts. And they still come into your space. That means they don't respect you. That's what it means.
Oh, wow. That's,
Yeah,
it is what it
that's
is,
what
isn't
it is,
Oh,
yes.
cool. Yeah. So
But you
that's
are compromising.
You see, now you sound like a therapist now. Am I in the therapy section?
Oh, no, we're just having a conversation.
Listen to me. Yeah. let me get this clear for you. What you just done right now, I didn't know we were gonna get here. If I knew it, I would have cut that conversation a long time ago. Because I don't want it to be like, I'm expressing a grief or something that
It's not
bothers
grief. We're
me.
having a conversation.
Yeah, like something that bothers me. I mean,
Okay,
we all
that's fine.
handle things differently.
Differently, yeah.
So if that's the way they can handle it, I respect them. Let's hold your space. Maybe they don't want me around. Maybe, but we can't help it. We just have to jump. We'll live together. Have you worked in an environment before you know you're somebody doesn't like you? That doesn't mean you quit the job.
Okay, so please hold your thought there, because I personally think it's not healthy. Precious. Oh no, Chente.
Oh no, phone no.
Chente. Is Chente still
Yes,
frozen?
I'm here. Yes.
Okay, so Chente, did you hear? Did you just listen to the conversation?
So I didn't get to the whole conversation. Please, like, my network is messed up. But I got some part, but I didn't get some part. It
So
was
what part
hanging,
did you?
and
So what part did you? What part did you get?
it was towards the ending where you were talking about the person doesn't respect, him. Yeah, it was towards the ending.
Okay. Okay. So Precious, you heard everything he said, ba?
Yes.
Okay. So Precious, in all honesty, so based on what he said, compromise. Should you compromise when you're making compromise? Because we just, try to define that. Do you think that's compromise or sacrifice?
It's actually sacrifice at this point, because the person being in your space, you're not comfortable with it, but you just have to allow the person to be in your space. You're saying the person does. I don't know if they don't understand that you don't like it, or they don't care, and you're just saying, look, okay, it's fine. Let the person just do it.
Yeah, because
At this point, the sacrifice.
Yeah, because that's the same feeling I got. Because the truth is, if it's compromise, you don't compromise, and you don't make a compromise and then you feel bad about it, because you have actually tried to do something, but whatever it is you've done, do you understand? It's just shoved, you understand, to the side to say, what is you're making it look as if it's not important, But that's fine, because we don't want him. He doesn't want to get into it, deeper on and all that.
Yes.
But Precious, like, I want you to tell me, what are in my head, I'm thinking that when people compromise, it's actually supposed to make the relationship better.
Yes,
It's supposed to create a comfortable, space where you can come up, have a healthy conversation, be friendly. Do you understand? Communicate better. Communicate better and have a better relationship where, you can. I think it even builds trust to a certain level. It does build trust to a certain level, because you know that, oh, my partner is somebody that I can have a healthy conversation with. We are both committed to making our relationship work.
Yes.
So we need to identify certain things. Now, Ade, this is not about you. Do you understand? I'm not going to make it about you. But in all honesty, I think a lot of us mix we mix it. Do you understand? Compromise is not supposed to be one-sided. Do you understand? Because compromise is not supposed to be one-sided. Compromise is not supposed to feel shitty. Do you understand? It's not supposed to make you feel bad. Because from everything I've heard, if we've agreed to compromise, and I know that my partner would also do the same thing for me, I don't think it's wrong for me to do the same thing for my partner.
Yeah.
Because if we both understand each other properly, if you were my partner, do you understand? And we have healthy conversations. And I know that if I wasn't comfortable with your mom, or if your mom was disrespecting me in any way, you would stop your mom from coming to the house. Do you understand? Because that's your rule. That's what makes you comfortable. If I know that you would compromise to that level for me, trust me, I should be able to compromise for you. That's what it is. Do you understand? So, and that, like I said, it's not about you. It happens in a lot of relationships. And a lot of
Yes.
people do not understand that that's you being selfish, not compromising. Because when it favors you, do you understand? When it favors you, you're okay with it. When it doesn't favor you, then you throw a tantrum.
Mm.
Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So,
Yeah.
if people understand, so basically we're saying the role of compromise in relationship is to make your relationship better, to make it
Yeah.
peaceful for you to live in, to make you have reasonable conversations with your partner, your wife, and at the end of the day, everybody's happy.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? That's what it's supposed to be. And then, personally for me, if I want to give instances of what I think compromise is, it's, you know what, there's something on ground. I was saying, I know that, you understand, this doesn't work for you, but it's what I want. Okay, so let's sit down, have a conversation. Let's meet at a middle point. I won't do this, you won't do this. We've agreed that's okay at the middle point. Or when it comes to raising the kids, let me talk about raising the kids. We'll say we agree to say that, you know what, you would handle this and I will handle this about the kids. When the kids come to me for this, I'll send them to you. Standard rule, we have agreed. When the kids want this, I'll send them, you send them to me. Those kind of conversations, you guys have sat down to say this is how we want our family to be. You have said this is the kind of things. In fact, I even think that the kind of people you want in your house are things that you should discuss.
Yes.
Yes. The people who come to your house to see you are conversations you should have as partners. Because if you have a friend who smokes, for example, and your friend who smokes comes to the house and you don't want to raise your children in that environment, you won't say, oh, because, you understand, we've not had that. You know, it's something that both of you will agree on because that space is for both of you. It's not one person. Do you understand? So that way, both of you are saying, you know what, we're respecting each other's space. So we will do things that's comfortable for both of us, not one person. That's my take when it comes to compromise. And then, which is why I wanted us to define what compromise is, what sacrifice is, so we understand that certain things we think we're compromising, we're actually not compromising, we're making a huge sacrifice. You get me, Ade? Yeah. So, Chente, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
So, Chente, you
Totally.
have not been able to speak. So, what's your take?
So, right, I actually agree. I agree 100%, right? I think that compromise strengthens the relationship. In fact, it improves communication better. When you've learned to come to a compromise on something, you know that there is actually nothing that we cannot solve. Because I think relationships is about communication, right? You guys will not agree on a lot of things. As I said, right, both of you are coming from two different places. You have two different values. You people, the thing that you believe in is not the same thing that I believe in. So there would be quarrel, there would be fights, right? And in order for you not to feel cheated, because I feel like you see that sacrificing, a lot of people feel cheated. Like, why do I have to displease myself just so that I can please you? That is sacrifice. That is me saying, I'm not going to do this just because of I want to make you feel better, right? But in that sense, if we can come to a compromise, meaning that we have talked about it, we have seen, okay, oh, this is good for you, this is good for, so okay, this is good for you, this is not good for me, right? How do we come to the middle? How do we align so that I know that both of us will benefit from this thing? I think compromise increases communication, increases trust, increases a lot. Like, you people become more closer. You know that there is nothing that you guys cannot truly, like, there is no argument that you guys cannot truly solve if you can always communicate and come to a compromise, right? But if at every instance it's always sacrifice, one person will definitely feel cheated. Like, you would always feel cheated. It would be like, I'm the one that is always doing this. Why can't you come to my, do you understand? Why can't you sacrifice for me? And one partner will always feel cheated. But when it comes to the point where you guys are always communicating and coming to a middle point, I feel like it strengthens the relationship in a lot of ways than you can imagine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's quickly go on a break. I heard Sajo is here with us. So after the break, we'll call Sajo in.
Stay tuned. Heartlines will be right back.
This season on Heartlines, we're committed to making a difference in people's lives. So Heartlines, in partnership with Reda Consult, is offering 12 free slots of counseling every quarter for people in need of professional counseling. Additionally, we're taking on 2 pro bono cases for individuals navigating a challenging divorce. To participate, please send an email to counsel@vedaconsult.com with your story. Our team will carefully review all submissions and will contact all the shortlisted candidates. Heartlines is live Mondays to Fridays at 10 p.m. So engage with us.
Thanks for staying with us on Heartlines.
Okay, so welcome back. Please note that you can send a message to us on our WhatsApp number 08190384663 or call in to join the conversation on 07025007749 or 07014242420. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Official Upgrade TV. Okay, do we have Sajo here?
Yeah, he's here.
Sajo, my man. Sajo, I greet you.
I greet you, Franca. Good evening, guys.
Sajo, good evening.
Good evening, Sajo. Sajo,
Hey,
you look good on
Chente.
this picture.
Thank you. You can have the picture.
Chente, what did you say? Chente, what did
I
you
said
say?
it looks good on, like, the background picture. It looks so good. Yeah.
Hey, yeah. Sajo, how you day?
I'm good. Precious, how are you? Good evening.
I'm good, sir. Good evening.
Sajo, please, can you educate us on the role of compromise in relationship?
Okay, now I'm very brief because I'm not supposed to be part of this show.
Okay.
Now, the essence of relationship is compromise.
Okay.
If you do not intend to go into any form of compromise, then you have no business being in a relationship, particularly as we are narrowing it down to marriages, considering that we are having a wider perspective from Ade Ajayi's position.
Okay.
Now, we have often tried to marry words, compromise and sacrifice together as though they mean one and the same thing. I agree with you that they are different, slightly different. The words that you would need to understand that you are compromising are, first of all, disagreement and concession.
Is Sajo still with us? I think we lost Sajo. Oh, why? Sajo, are you done?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm not done. I think you lost me somehow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I said that the words you would that would be life for you to know that you are actually compromising would be disagreement and concession. So if you find those words recurring in your situation, that means that you are at the point of compromising. Then for sacrifice, it's giving. It's giving. You know, the thin line is that at one end, you are both having to sit down, agree to give concessions for the better good of not either of you, but for the arrangement you have, howsoever described. It could be marriage or relationship. That I'm giving concession and you are giving concession for this. Not that I'm making sacrifice for you to be happy. It is for the common good of the marriage. That is why compromise is required. Why sacrifice is me giving giving in so that you find happiness, why I deprive myself of things that would ordinarily have made me happy. Okay. So those are the distinguishing characteristics of these two phrases or these two terms when used for purpose of relationship. Now, without compromise, if you ask me, your relationship goes nowhere. Because frankly, the only way to sit down from two different backgrounds, different understanding, different perception, different perspective, if you would add, and have an arrangement that works is compromising each other's stance. And it is not good or bad. The compromise from Mr. A may not be because, oh, this is wrong, like the analysis we were giving about smoking indoors. It could be the right thing to do. It is right to spend time with your family. It is right to love your mother. It is right to care and love your extended family. But for the good of this marriage, it is better to draw boundaries.
Okay.
Now, you're not sacrificing a wrong, or you're not compromising a wrong. Unlike a situation where you say, because we have kids in this marriage and we have agreed to raise them in a particular godlike manner.
Yeah.
Please, you cannot smoke in this house, or you cannot bring friends who smoke to this house.
Okay.
Oh, but I love smoking. Smoking is my thing. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't do that here. Okay, then you can't drink either. Okay, you know what? For sake of this marriage and these kids, we're not drinking indoors, we're not smoking indoors. You have compromised.
Okay.
Yeah, but you have compromised negatives. You have thrown away negative acts for the good of the relationship. So it is not always the negative it can be negative or positive. But what is primary, what we need to understand, and what is continuum in the conversation is that you are going to disagree and you are going to compromise or concession for purpose of agreement for the greater good of what you have and not for the individuals in the relationship or entanglements. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Joe. Clear. Okay, so because that was very clear. Ade, you've heard what everybody said.
Yeah, sure.
So what do you think?
I mean, it's still what I said, like, everyone is compromising in the relationship, so it's one of the pillars, like, we put together to make a relationship actually work. So, yeah, I mean, it's on different level, like I said. You know, the more you get into a relationship, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, the more you have to compromise. The more reality sinks in that, you know, well, I'm going to be with this person that is going to get bigger. You know, sometimes you compromise with the body shape, and you probably didn't see that before. People change. You like someone that snores, someone like you said, someone that smokes. You know, you just have to a boundary. Talk about it. If you're not comfortable with that kind of thing, you speak to the person about it, and it's left for them to be responsible. Because if someone comes to speak to you about something, they're giving you honor. They probably just look at you and just put you in your space. And guess what? When someone puts you in your space, then you don't have, I mean, there's no respect. You've lost it.
So would you say that in your 9 years of marriage, that both of you having to have conversation and compromising a lot has actually helped you guys stay that long?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what has it done for your relationship? Has it improved communication? What has compromise actually done in your relationship?
I mean, it's made us keep compromising. It's giving us a reason, like, you know what? It's as a Christian, you need to have faith. That's the only thing. That's the bedrock of Christianity, faith. So even if things are not working, you have faith. Even if the relationship is not working, they say compromise. What was it about husband and wife? They said husband love your woman and wife respects. So they have to compromise with the word of God.
No, so what I'm asking is, all your compromise and everything, how has it improved your relationship?
Yeah, it's working. I mean, that's why we're still here. If you didn't compromise, we won't be here. You understand? There are a lot of relationships where they couldn't compromise, so everyone goes separate, left. That's it. I can't take your bullshit, and you can't take mine, and that's why we're still here. Because we're compromising. Like, seriously, we just... Should I use the other word? Tolerating.
Tolerating, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Because everything I get from what you have shared so far is that immediately you got into the marriage, you knew you were going to compromise. You knew you were going to make sacrifices from day one. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, it's a reflex. I mean, it's not something...
Because you were intentional to make sure that your relationship...
Oh my God, this woman, you're very smart. You know what? I was going to use the word intentionality. I mean, it's very important in a relationship. I mean, and you might not discover it early, but once one person in that relationship discovers it and mention that thing, it needs to sink in so that all of you can channel your energy to be intentional in developing your relationship. Do you understand? So that's it. So compromise to me is just the basic. It's just...
Okay, so I'm going to get a bit personal. I had a conversation with you, and you were willing to share your experience with a therapist, right? Now, you mentioned that you were the one who suggested seeing a therapist. How was that for you?
I mean, to me, I didn't understand what therapy was to start with.
Okay.
I didn't even know how to get to it. But you know what? When the time came that, you know what? To fix this thing, Juwon, you need to make sure. My name is Ade Juwon, so it's like Ade Juwon. Like, you need to make sure you book this therapy, and so that was like the only thing I could do to save my marriage. You understand? And I've heard it before. And you know what? Maybe without that therapy, we would have still been together. But we done it, and we're still together. So he's done his part then, because I wouldn't take that away from it. So it was something that was recommended to me, and I went online, searched for it, the most affordable one in my pocket. So I mean, they pushed their product up there. So that was the first one you click. You know, on Google when you type something. So they done well with their marketing. Well, you know what? It was fit for purpose. It was worth it. Yeah, and the first section, when I told my partner, we discussed this before, like a couple of months or probably a year. And I said, and she just threw it under the bucket, like, nah, I don't need therapy. And even when it was initiated, she still said at that point where I decided to go for it, she was saying no, she doesn't need it. But she was at the point whereby, you know what, we can say a lot of therapy. And so, yeah, we done it. The first session, she was there. In fact, I think I was the one that even slept off. She sent someone to wake me up. So, yeah, and so she had to compromise. Like something she didn't want to do. She still came to do it with me.
So because I would say, yes, yeah, because I would say you were intentional because you wanted your marriage to work.
Yeah.
Yes, and then she compromised, to say, as much as I don't think I need therapy, but at least she came, And would you say that decision has made you guys different and understand each other more?
Yeah, it has. I mean, when I was, you see, the one I went for, you need to feel a lot of stuff before they can recommend a therapist to you.
Okay.
So you have a lot of questionnaires you answer, and that determines if you want a Chinese one, they'll tell you what religion, what belief. And yeah, I was surprised when it was a Caribbean lady, and she was very nice, and they're very matured. And you know what? At the point, the first therapy we did it together, second one we done. Do you know, after the second one we're okay. it was like everything was going to. Do you know, third one, I already moved out of the house.
Why did you move out?
We had issue. So that's why they say therapy is not just 1 week. By the third one, we had everything scatter. It wasn't because of therapy, but some things kept happening. I mean, it was the heat of the moment. And you know what? The fourth one I went to by myself. She must have gotten the invitation. Maybe she just didn't ignore it or something. And that was the point whereby I had a one-to-one. So when you're doing couples therapy, do it by yourself, do it with your partner.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very good.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one-to-one, I shared my own part, and yeah, and in the end, I wouldn't even have. When I was thinking, I put religious and all that. She just told me to send me to God, because she can't help me. But it was a point whereby the last time I had someone send me to God like that and I listened was probably when I was like in my uni. For a therapist to do that, so you can encounter anything in therapy. Do you understand? I encountered God, and I'll tell you. I mean, I wouldn't even imagine it was in therapy. I was a Jamaican woman. I think she's a blood clot something. But you know what? She just told me certain things because I told her my situation, and she's just like, you know what? I can't help you. It's God. I can help you. And I done it. So when we came back like a week after, and it was me and my partner on it, she was like, "Ah!" She saw her on the camera and like, yeah, she was really happy.
So you went back home after she told you to go, after she sent you back to God?
Nah, that one was just a misunderstanding. It was not like leave like that. She was just like, you know what, just to go and take your fresh air outside.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. It wasn't like move out. It was just a misunderstanding. And,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Precious, what do you have to say? We have about 2 or 3 minutes left.
Yes, so compromise is essential in a relationship. I'm glad we've been able to establish that. We've talked about the benefits of compromise, which is it fosters relationship, builds communication, can build trust. One of the things I also like about compromise, it can help you resolve issues that ordinarily would have broken other people, because you're able to sit and talk about it and understand each other a little bit better. So couples should please try to be compromising relationships as opposed to being the sacrificial lamb all the time.
Okay, thanks.
Compromise is good for a healthy relationship.
Oh, wow, thanks. Gente, you have something to say?
Yeah,
Gente?
so I think I would also support Precious on that, right? I think compromise is beautiful, right? It strengthens your relationship in ways that you can ever imagine, right? It improves. I feel like especially it improves your communication, right? Because when you guys can sit down and talk about things, right? I think it already improves the idea of whatever we are going through, right? We can be able to talk about this and find ways
a middle
to come
ground.
to terms, right?
Yeah,
So
true.
yeah, I think it's key. It's key.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sergio, thanks for joining us. You saved us. You gave us a very detailed explanation of, compromise and sacrifice. Thanks for always tuning in to save us. Okay, so basically, I would say we will understand what compromise is, what sacrifice is, and I would not advise anybody, if you have to sacrifice in your marriage, that's fine, but it shouldn't be something you do all the time. But basically, compromise is something that you would do every single day in your marriage, because both of you will always sit down to have a conversation. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.